Hi, welcome to Philippine Antics. This is George, I think, and I'm Heidi, and welcome, William. Is there another name you'd like us to? Is it William or Bill or?
Yeah, you can go by Bill. William is more or less the formal name, and I've
Okay,
had that up there for the longest time, so I've never really changed it.
gotcha. That's what George said to call you. I'm Bill, and go ahead and announce your YouTube channel and tell us a little bit about it.
My YouTube channel is called Papa in the Philippines. It's more or less brand new. I just started the channel just before going to the Philippines itself. My wife is from there, and I was going to the Philippines to check on the retirement house we were building there.
Okay.
And it came about as just an inspiration from my stepdaughter. I was in Manila in Terminal 3 waiting to get on the Cebu flights to go down to Tacloban. And she messaged me. She's saying, Papa, where are you, Papa? And I said, well, Papa's in the Philippines. And
Ah,
that's just how it went.
Oh,
So before that, it was mostly, there's only a couple of videos. It was around town here and some friends. So when I came back, I do have a drone. So I was flying it and learning it and taking stuff, from there. I did the house. I did some parts around there. And believe it or not, the inspiration from this was during COVID. And I've been going to the Philippines many years. I can't even remember. My wife could probably tell you, but she's in Kansas. I'm here in Utah. And during COVID, I was at my house in Kansas, and I was just flipping through the YouTube channels, looking at what's new, what's going on, and I came across a YouTube channel where I thought I knew the guy. He looks familiar, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, "Hey, this got to be Mike." And I get there, and I was like, "Well, he's got the same attitude and everything." And I was like, "What the hell's going on here?" And I watched it. It was Kulas.
ah,
I was I was totally amazed by it. I went and I text my friend Mike and I said, "Are you available?" He says, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay, hold on. Here, you got to check this guy out. He has the same attitude as you, the same everything, but Mike lives in California. So, it's just I met Mike while I was overseas. So it was just a strange coincidence. And seeing what Kulas does, I don't want to be Kulas. I just want to be me. And I'm always taking pictures and stuff. I've got tons of pictures, tons of videos from the phone. And I was like, well, put it somewhere, do something with it. So that's how this has come about and going forward.
yeah, Kulos is a really big inspiration of ours. He was one of the first few channels. You already know George is born and raised here in Angeles City, but
Mhm.
lived in the U.S. for many years. But we've been watching Kulos along with some of the other channels just to get an idea. I mean, for me, mostly because he was working a lot. You said your wife is also in the U.S.?
Yes, she's in the U.S. I'm what you consider. Let me see if I can see it. Now I can't see it, but would them off. I'm what you consider a contract person. In other words, I go out looking for contracts. I've been in procurement and subcontracts for almost 30 years now. I started it by going to Iraq and Afghanistan. So I was in Iraq from '04 to 11, came home for a little while, and also met my wife. Since I was traveling around that much, I was on that side there. I've been to Thailand, I've been to different places, and a friend of mine, this is how I met her. A friend of mine, Freddie, he said, "Hey," that I was working with. He says, "Hey, come to the Philippines." He was building a house there. He's married to a Filipino. I said, "Yeah, all right." He's up in the Pampanga area. I said, "Okay, I'll make arrangements." I was at a different base than he was, and somehow I got the wires crossed. When I got there was when he was heading back. So left to my own device, I run into this Filipina and I can't get rid of her. So best thing to do is just marry her. And
I hear you.
it's I've been previously married and a lot of negative back there. And
I hear you.
I don't know. I have no idea
She's
where she
a
came from.
she's a breath of fresh air when it comes to dating a Filipina. Because I was saying that yesterday in our live that, it goes the same with us women too. There's a lot of toxic Western ways
Yes,
and
yes.
mentalities. And I fall into it still quite a bit. George says it takes a real man to handle me. And he's right. George is all man. But no, it's very different. And on that note, so you plan to go back to the Philippines to stay on a permanent basis. When will that be for you?
I'm looking maybe retire the end of this year, if not next year. Our permanent house is in Kansas. It's in a small town called Belleville. And when I bought the house, I was just looking to downsize or put everything I have that's in storage into a house. And it was just one of these things. I threw a dart, hit the place, and that was it. And that's where I landed. But I'm originally born and raised in the Bronx, New York. So I've
Okay.
been downsizing my whole life. People say I don't have the accent of a New Yorker, but every now and then it will pick
It
up
slips
because
up,
I've
I hear.
moved around so much. I've lived in Oklahoma. I've lived in Illinois. I've lived in a bunch of different places, and again, a lot of time overseas. So she's there right now, and when it comes time, I'll probably go back and stay there. She's a little bit younger than me, so she's still working, and we brought her daughters over, and they're getting their citizenships. They're working, and again, even though I met her in Pampanga, she's originally from Eastern Samar, the town of San Roque. And
Okay.
it's on my channel there. I just got a video showing it there. It's a very short town. And I find the Filipino culture out in the province, the old style New York, or rather the old style family, where everybody's under one roof, everybody takes care of everybody.
Right.
And nowadays it's like, yeah, put grandma in the old age home, and maybe we'll go visit her. And I think that's what we're lacking here in the States. And
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
gotten so digital and so forth. So it's just
yeah.
one of, and when I got there, I just love the place. I'm good to go.
Yeah. So do you plan to live do you plan to spend so many months in the Philippines and some in the US, or you're just going to stay based in the US and like vacation back and forth?
She'll probably stay in Kansas, and I'll be over there permanent. I'm looking to get in the SRRV,
Okay.
and I came across Steve Johnson, and I've talked to
Yes.
him a couple of times.
Loves
He's a world of knowledge.
He is.
So
He's one that we're always like, we love Steve Johnson situation. Jennifer Terry's another one that
yes,
does a lot of
that's
help.
another one.
That is a lot of big help. So that was going to be one of my
And there,
questions,
yeah,
was how was you going to do it? So it's the SRRV. So yeah,
yeah. See, I'm prior military, so I fall in there under the special circumstances where I don't have to put that amount of money in, a huge
which
amount,
which is
and
actually,
which is good.
yeah. Um, so do you have any worries or concerns about moving to the Philippines, or not
I've,
compared to
I've,
what's
I've,
going on in the US?
yeah,
Like that
I've
raccoon
lived.
in a dumpster thing.
Yeah, I've lived in a war zone, so I have, to me, the wife gets worried when we're there together and I go out exploring. She says, "Oh, take this person with you, take that person. You got Abu Sayyaf." I was like, "So what? They're not going to want me." So and again, now that I'm seeing, and what Kulas has said, that Mindanao and Davao, those regions there wasn't really all that good years ago, but it's gotten a lot better. And he's showcasing that. He's bringing people,
That's
and
what
that's
he's
what I would like
doing.
to do. When I talk to friends, I say, "Come over for a vacation. What you can spend in Hawaii in 2 weeks." With that amount of money, you could spend a month, if not longer, in the Philippines. And here's the
Right.
beaches, here's the places. It's a little longer to get there, but you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will you be doing like a serious budget? Are you going to be on Social Security, retirement, like residual retirement? What's your financial plans, if you don't mind revealing for the people?
Um, just living on Social Security, I'd be good. I do have money set aside, financial. I've worked overseas. I put a lot of money away.
That's
Put it
good.
this way: I owe nobody anything.
That's good.
That's I and I got I've put aside. My house in Kansas is paid for. Cars are paid for. Where I'm working, I the I got to word it specific because I'm working with the DoD. You could look it up. There's what the program is GBSD, which stands for Ground Based Systems Deterrent, and I'm working for that out here in Utah. That's out on the web, so that's good to go. I work in the aerospace and defense industry, so I'm good to go. So when
Oh,
it comes time, I'm ready to go out there. I'm one of the smart people. I squirreled money away, and
which is really good. That's something I
yeah,
wish I had.
yeah, my house is paid for, and stuff like that. So again, I owe nobody. And plus, when I was overseas working with the DoD and the State Department, I was in Afghanistan with the DoD and the State Department there. I we Our working hours were like 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and then you took vacation for like 2 3 weeks, and then you came back and did it again. And I did that for numerous years. people would go, they'd live what we called R&R to R&R, and they take all this money, they buy gifts for everybody, this and that, and take them to extravagant places. And then when it came time to leave, they're like, I have no money. Well,
Yeah.
what the hell? You blew it on everything. People were spending at it's the 7-star hotel in Dubai, that one with the tower that looks like a sail. It's like $1,000 a night. I know people that stayed 5 nights there, and it's like, I could go down the hotel over here for a couple of $100 and be good to go and get the same treatment. And look what you just spent, you know. Oh yeah, but I did this. Great, fine. Don't come to me later on asking for some money, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you guys have any plans in business ventures in the Philippines?
No, nothing, none whatsoever. I'm looking at retiring, sitting on the beach, getting in a car somewhere and driving off and so forth, and go from there, you know, just exploring. When I'm there, that's what I kind of do. So, you know, I'm just going to document it now and put it up on a channel, say, hey, if you're interested, here it is.
Yeah. Do you have any, is there any family members or anybody else additional that's like, hey, don't go to the Philippines, stay away from this area? Does your family have many opinions? Like mine was super opinionated, so about it.
My parents have passed, so they're not around. I have a stepbrother and stepsister that after mom died, we just kind of went our separate ways. They have too much baggage with them, and I don't need their drama. All right, I've got my own. I can deal with my own. I don't need yours.
Right. I
So
agree.
to me, you know, it's just you got to get rid of toxic people in your life, and that's what I kind of did. I know my brother lives a couple of streets over from me in Kansas. I brought him there because mom said, hey, get him out of New York and do this. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Oh, no, you know, he's doing drugs. This. Oh, okay, mom, I'll do what you say.
Right.
And it just kind of, you know, it is what it is. You know, I just don't need the toxicity from them. My cousins, they're all for it. I got one cousin, he married a Filipina and brought her back to where's he in somewhere in Denver. And a lot of people I do know have been wanting to go over there. I got a best friend that I grew up with, Joe, and he wants to come over there. He wants to retire there. And I said, you haven't even been there. Come with
Right.
me over, get your passport, and let you, you know, experience. It may not be for you.
It's not for everybody. So, you know, we tell
Yes.
people like, unless you're going to be homeless in the United States and things are super bad, like really, really bad, yes, you definitely got to check out before you actually decide to leave the United States and up and leave, that people should explore all their options and look into, you know, like checking out what the cost of living is, you know, the cost of moving. A lot of people don't put all them actions, you know, plans into actions and all of that stuff. So
Yes. That being said, you guys chose some, or is there a reason that particular area? Is it the cost of living?
her
That's where
family,
her family's from. That's where
family,
her family's from. They're
which is
from
cute.
this, yeah, they're from there, and then another town over. I really can't name the town, but Balibo something, you know. So they've lived in that area there, and it's nice. It's peaceful. You know everybody, and you know
It is
we've
good.
had a little we've had a few incidences, but then we've gotten together with the barangay captains and everything, and we've explained to them, and they were like, oh, okay, you know, fine, good to go. So we try to make peace. We don't want, and we do everything legal. Our property that we bought, or the wife brought, we didn't buy it because, oh, somebody's selling it. We made sure there's a land title, made sure everything was good. We got lawyers involved. We had it surveyed. We had it surveyed twice. The first time they put the little flags down, and neighbors came around saying, no, this is my property. This is mine.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
fine. So we had it surveyed again with the head surveyor in that area, who actually surveyed that in the past when they were doing out the maps. And he put in concrete blocks, and so from there, everything erupted again. And so, no, he took them down there, showed them the map. He said, listen, he's actually giving you back land that's not his. He just wants his portion. And so once that was settled, and then there were the little side comments that were said, oh, they're Americans. They're just trying to steal property from us. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to deal with that.
Yeah.
Let the brown guy Hall talk to him.
Yeah. So which brings me around to, I'm sure you looked into like laws and traditions, because the Filipinos are a very religious country, very traditional. And in saying that, yes, that some of them are kind of set in their ways. They're super, super nice, but when some things can go, like you said about the property, and then the Filipinos tend to be super sensitive sometimes. And, and so it's I get that because I've had a few incidences myself, and yes, we're seen as Americans, and I feel sometimes that they think that we're super entitled, and there can be issues, which was going to bring around to, if I didn't say that, when it comes to living in an area like that, it's great that you have family. Kulos knew people when he was over there. He had Mama Rose and a lot of people to help show him around, which we would highly recommend. You know, it's a beautiful area and everything, but I would only go in that area like with George, because there's a guide. I wouldn't go over there as an expat American female sticking out, you know, on big, tall, and fluffy and loud. And so I would definitely take a guide and everything over there. So it's good that you know somebody, but yes, you could still run into those cultural issues. And now with the land and saying all of that, you said you had attorneys. Was you able to put your name on paperwork if she passes away? Because we keep hearing people that are telling us that, and I'm like, I don't think so. I'm pretty much sure that yeah, I was pretty sure there wasn't a way.
We've talked to them, and some people do it just so that their name is on it, but usually they put next to it foreign or American, so they'll put my name on it. Anything that does happen, if she passes it away, goes to her kids, and it
That's
gets
what I
divided
thought.
from there.
Yeah, we
So
said that.
we're good on that. We kind of knew that going in.
Okay, so is it her family land, or you bought the lot? You said you bought the lot, right? That you had
Yes, we
surveyed
bought,
off.
it
So it
was
wasn't
yeah, it wasn't her family land. It was somebody selling it,
okay.
and it
So
was right on the beach, and we said, grab it right now.
hey, we're gonna have to go
So that's
visit
what
him. We'll be over there for a
hey,
barbecue.
yeah, please do.
Uh,
You're more than welcome. I'll definitely give you the addresses. It is in Samar. It takes a little while to get there. It's if you can, it's almost a 3 hour drive to get there after
Oh, wow.
coming out of Tacloban. But once you're there, the architect and builder that I had, he said that I built the house American style, and I was like, yeah. And
right.
because I planned it out, it started on a piece of paper, and that's how I built it. He says, yeah, but you could have built 3 Filipino houses with this, with the amount of money and
Yeah,
materials. It's so big. And that's what I wanted. I wanted, especially the kitchen, so everybody gets together. If you've seen the one with the house blessing, that's on the video there with the pig, the nice big pig. And my father-in-law raises them, so we got that for free almost, other than roasting it. But it was just family, food, entertainment, and that's the way it should be, you know. But we
it
got
should
room.
be.
Come on over.
So what are your favorites here in the Philippines and what are your dislikes?
Say it again.
What are your favorite things in the Philippines and what are your dislikes?
About the Philippines,
Oh,
likes and dislikes.
Philippines, check mark, done. Everything. Dislikes. I don't like the traffic up in Manila. I know I'm born and raised in New York. I can't stand the Manila or Cebu traffic. I like to get away from that. So, and that kind of irritates me the most, especially when I'm in one terminal and I got to go to the other one and I take a taxi and it takes 45 minutes to drive a half, not even a few blocks away. That is just crazy up there.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
other than that, my likes, anything I find is good. You know, it's the food. I love the food. I won't eat balut. Sorry, won't eat balut. No, I can't go there yet.
Yeah, there's some things
So
just like pass. Bill, what about the heat and the humidity?
I can deal with it. Again, I was in the Middle East, so hot and humidity, I have no problem with that. My wife looks at me because when we're both there together and I'm sweating, she's got the rag out and she's doing this and doing. I was like, get off, leave me alone. I'm getting it all out,
Ah,
and I have no problem with that. So I'm
uh,
I am kind of tired with the cold right about now.
we talked about like when right in the middle of the pandemic, that's when we decided that we'll go ahead and just take my Social Security disability and go on and go. He can do the YouTube channel, and we had the savings in the beginning. And that's kind of like where I was on moving. We thought about Ohio, which is where I was planning on going. But when we were in Mexico and it hit 50 and 60 degrees up in that mountain at night when it should have been warm, it was too much on my lupus and bones and arthritis. Everything just creaked in the cold. I barely moved throughout the day. Like I think I was living in the bed for almost ever. But yes, cold weather is really, really bad. So I agree to some point. I mean, Heidi Zilla comes out every now and then when it's 106 with humidity, but that's what the air conditioning is for. And yeah. Yeah.
So far, real dislikes. The only thing that yeah, let me give you a better perspective. As you can see, I only have one arm. I lost that many years ago to cancer. And I get people staring at me, and it's like, come on, quit staring at me.
It's something like me. If you see me, I am really tall. I'm 6 foot tall. I'm super, like, I'm twice the size of George. And I get the stares, and I'm already, super white. And it's something you automatically become a semi-star, even if you just step off the airplane. I mean, I'm like pure Godzilla if I go to Japan. So I'm kind of holding off on that trip right now. But you just kind of get used to it, because sometimes I'm thinking, okay, it's my size that they're staring at. They're looking because George is with me, and George looks younger than me. I've been called his mother in public. So there's a lot of different things. But yeah, it's something, sometimes I do this, or I found a trick. Somebody said stare at their shoes. So if somebody's like staring at you in the airport or something, or the mall, and they're just gawking, like some of the younger kids stare at me and George a lot while we're at the mall. If you look at their shoes for some reason and stare at their feet for a few minutes, they stop looking at you. And I told George, I don't know, but it worked, didn't it? I tried that for like 10 minutes, and the people that were staring me down, I just kept watching their feet, and then they just looked away. It was weird. So it was, somebody gave me that. Yeah, it's like, okay, it kind of works, but yeah, it's different. But I just
the other thing that they do, I don't mind it, especially when I'm there with the wife, and especially a lot of the school kids. They always saying Santa Claus because of my hair and the beard, and it's like, yeah, I'm on vacation.
Oh my God, he does. Now that you mention it, that'd be actually great. Remember, we got George a Grinch costume, and we still have it in one of our Billy buying boxes. And the first year you were supposed to dress up, I ended up using it for a TikTok because I was into TikToking a lot. And I don't think we pulled it out since, but you were supposed to hand out candy. But when you got that sucker on, you were like sweating. It was hot in that suit.
Well, all suits are hot.
Yeah, but you had the rubber mask on too. But yeah, that would actually make sense. So.
Well, please, George, please do that. Wear the Grinch costume. Don't wear that man bikini again. Sorry. I was like, oh, please.
Hey, George has now got
you were brave at doing that.
Oh my God, that day was hilarious, because I thought he was going to stay within our little compound walls and do it. Yep. No, he had that up his behind, and he walked across the street in front of the entire neighborhood. I said, George, you're not, oh my God, what are you doing? And I'm the crazy one here, right? I'm the one that's always doing something weird. I was like, he said, let's just do this. Oh my God, George. You could put that on.
I see where the antics come in. So
you ought to see our actual house. It's hilarious, because we both like conversate all day like we're best friends, and we complete each other. And yes, the antics that go on here are, sometimes I laugh till I actually pee my pants. That's true. Probably at least 3-4. That's true. How many times a month does that happen? A few?
Okay, yeah. TMI.
Picture George in that mankini again. There's a vision for the rest of the day, Bill. Bill, is there anything you want to tell our subscribers that you think might actually help them? And guys, be sure to check out Bill's channel, Pop in the Philippines. His link will be in the description. Yes, and we'll also put I'll put you into our community page that there's an up and coming interview today, and let them know that you're coming. It should be released within a few days. I still have to edit it and everything. But is there anything you'd like to tell people that might help them when they're coming here to retire, or just get their ass here? Or
I'd say definitely yes. If you're looking for a place to retire, please do check out the Philippines. But also check into the laws, check into the restrictions that you do have, check into visas, and you do have these channels like you guys, the Antics in the Philippines. You do have the other ones like Steve Johnson. Yes. There are really good ones out there. Right. There are some bad ones. Stay away from them. We're not going to mention who they are, because I looked at a couple of them and I was like, next.
from each
Yeah.
channel. It's really,
And yeah,
you know.
and that's it. Just don't stick with one, and try and also verify what the people are talking about. Just because somebody says something, oh, that's true because I heard it on the internet. Look it
I
up. Go
hear
to the
you.
Filipino consulates. Go to the websites of
Yes,
the Philippines,
because
and
it
check into it
changes.
yourself. It is in English, so you're able to do that. Be well informed before you do something like this, because this is a life-changing thing if you go to retire in any country. So
Right, definitely, because the consulate will be able to tell you, or actually, probably here in the Philippines, they really actually need to go. And also, people need to understand that there's so much misinformation, like on Facebook and other
yes.
social media platforms, with the change of things and the misinformation. You got to check it out for sure.
Yeah,
So,
and for the viewers, just so you guys know, Steve Johnson is the Philippine Info Channel.
yes,
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
So
Sorry.
look for Philippine Info Channel, and Jennifer Terry
we'll put both
deals
those
with
links
travel,
too.
and that's the channel's
Yes.
name, Jennifer
Yeah,
Terry.
there were some of the best channels that we've seen that actually give out the information. They're just outright, the rest of them, we just, it's kind of like our soap opera situation, like what's going on today. So it's like, what's going on now? Watch out here. What's the chismis today?
Which
So,
bar today?
right,
Yeah.
which bar today? So, all right, Bill. Well, we appreciate you joining us today, and we'll get this video out, and we really do appreciate it. And you're more than welcome if you want to come on up to Angel City, and you and your wife are more than welcome. We got like we mentioned, people that we know and are, primary people we do invite. We're just going to give you a fan though, and we may have to charge you for internet. Just
Okay,
kidding.
no problem.
Just
Not,
kidding.
not, hey, thank you guys for bringing me on this interview there and going forward. And again, I've watched your channel. I've commented every now and then, and I've just, I've kind of stayed with you guys. So you're on the good list. You guys definitely got a check mark. And I try, and again, when I talk to somebody that's looking at this, I try and give them your information. Go to this channel, check them out, see what they're saying. So.
Because you guys know I'm going to say it like it is. Poor George. All right. Well, we do appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much, Bill.
Thank you for joining
We
us.
appreciate you.
All right, guys, take care.
All
Hopefully, I'll
right.
see you soon.